Nigeria's Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewole, says Kenyan Airways will be sanctioned for flying a corpse into the country without proper certification. The minister told newsmen in Osogbo, the Osun State capital in southwest Nigeria, that no clearance was given by the Ministry of Health, as at the time the corpse was brought in from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thankfully, when the corpse was tested, it was free of the Ebola virus.
There was a corpse that was flown in by Kenyan Airways into the country without due certification and clearance. The first thing is to reassure Nigerians that we're on top of this matter. Query has been issued to the airline, and I can assure you appropriate sanctions will be issued. Because for you to bring a corpse into Nigeria, you need the clearance of the Federal Minister of Health, and that has not been issued as of the time that corpse was brought in. But I think that is just part of the story, because we actually impounded the corpse, we tested it, and we can confirm that it is Ebola-free.
During a visit to South Sudan, the heads of UN food agencies, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and the World Food Programme have called for urgent peace to ensure that food and other life-saving support can reach people affected by famine and severe hunger. Almost half of the South Sudanese population, around 5.5 million people, are facing severe hunger following a regional drought. Of these, around 1 million people are on the brink of famine.
Literally just a matter of miles from here, and because of the cooperation, the partnership, it's amazing to see people getting the food in conditions that are tough. But this is an area that's stable right now. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, but every day that we can be here is another day that we prevent famine.
This is all about. We are preserving lives, we are preserving the livelihood where they live, and teaching them how to survive in those very difficult conditions. We're saving lives.
Meanwhile, Japanese troops have completed their withdrawal from a United Nations peacekeeping mission in South Sudan. This marks the end of a controversial push by the Japanese Prime Minister to expand the military's overseas role. The 40 men and women, all that remained of Japan's 350-strong military contingent, left from South Sudan's capital of Juba, where they have been based for the past 5 years as they helped build infrastructure in the war-torn country. Oil-rich South Sudan has been ravaged by civil war since 2013, when President Salva Kiir, an ethnic Dinka, fired his deputy Riek Machar, an ethnic Nur. The withdrawal will ease political pressure on Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who had promised in March to bring them home and vowed to resign if any troops were killed. In East Africa, a Kenyan government scheme to subsidize staple maize flour has suffered a setback due to shortages. This has stoked anger over high food prices ahead of a national election in August. The government unveiled a 6 billion shilling maize subsidy program last week to lower the unit cost of flour to 90 shillings after it soared by a third to around 136 shillings during a regional drought.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, who's seeking a second 5-year term, faces veteran rival Raila Odinga, who says the high food prices show Kenyatta's government has failed poor citizens. The government is importing Mexican maize and distributing it to millers at subsidized rates following a shortage blamed on drought. The packets are stamped in bright red letters with a price of 90 shillings and the letters GOK for Government of Kenya. The subsidies lower the cost of a 90-kilogram bag of maize to 2,300 shillings from a market rate of 4,600 shillings.
This flour is like gold. They say it costs 90 shillings, but finding it is a problem. I have gone to different shops where the price is labeled 90 shillings. But when you get to the till, it is sold for 100 shillings. So we are asking the government to intervene and follow up on this.
Officials in the Ministry of Agriculture blamed panic buying for the shortages in parts of the country. The bulk of Kenya's maize is produced in the populous Rift Valley region, a key voting bloc courted assiduously. The country is suffering from a drought that has left about 2.7 million people in need of food aid and driven up inflation to a near 5-year high. Maize flour is widely consumed in Kenya and used to make ugali, a popular stiff porridge usually eaten with vegetables or meats.
The price of flour has reduced for now, but before it was very expensive. But they also need to lower prices of other commodities like sugar. We should not be eating ugali every day. People also need sugar for their tea.
Kenya has 43,000 metric tons of maize. Further shipments are expected at the port of Mombasa on June the 11th and the 15th.